Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome one and all to yet another episode. This is Alex, and I'm here with my father, Franco.
Yep, yeah.
And this is the Feliz Energy Podcast.
Thank you for listening, and thank you for being here with us. Today, we're going to discuss the subject of feminism. And this particular subject came about because we were, I know we were out in the Ponce City market.
We were.
And we were just having breakfast and, just talking with each other and seeing people walk by and seeing the actions of the female and men that were walking past us and having conversations. And we came to the realization that women definitely have the right to equal opportunity, the right to have the same opportunities as men, as well as in any position. But we also had a discussion of why women feel that men should lessen themselves in order for them to achieve. And I just don't necessarily think that that's even possible, right? And you brought up a few points as well as to why you thought, and what are your thoughts as far as that goes?
Right. Well, like you were saying, when we observe people, we see the character traits that they express. We see the way that they carry and express themselves.
Right.
And I mean, one example, we saw this good-looking couple. There was a handsome gentleman and a good-looking lady as well. And you see that they weren't holding hands. The gentleman didn't open the door for her. You see that he didn't take her hand and put it in his arm. Just gentlemanly things. Well,
he actually put his hands in his pockets and they were walking away.
There you go. And that's hilarious. And you can also give the possibility that maybe they were cousins, but it looked like they were a couple.
Right.
Anyway, the point to this is that we see such a disparity in the way that men understand themselves and the way that women understand themselves. We live in a society that is so disconnected from nature. We live in a society that does not encourage men to be men and that does not encourage women to be women and fulfill the natural roles that men and women were both meant to play. And we discussed feminism because we, as strong men, as sovereign men, want to see women succeed. We want to see women living in the fullness of their feminine power, in the fullness of their creative life force energy.
That's right.
Because they'll bring out the best in us.
There's no doubt about that.
Yes. So we encourage that. A strong man is not afraid of a strong woman. A strong man wants a strong woman. A strong woman wants a strong man. We want competent partners in our life because that is what strength is. Power is competency. Power is not pseudo masculinity. It's not this tyrannical brute force.
Right.
That is actually weakness when a man commands and demands respect, commands and demands love.
Well, you have to earn it. You have to earn respect.
Correct.
And I think that's what the problem is these days, in the past 10, 15, 20 years, is that men have lost that certain masculinity due to the fact that they have either been feminized or have decided to use a lot of those feminine traits in order to please women, to the point where women say these words, "I do not need a man." And in reality, I think that women probably say that is because they want to demonstrate to men that I am capable. And I think that's what the translation is.
Correct.
I am capable.
Absolutely.
I can take care of myself. I can do for me. I'd rather be by myself than mal-accompanied. I think that's what that translation means. That's what it translates to anyways.
Right. And this does not mean that this is a negative thing. We want to be self-sufficient. We want to be able to sustain ourselves no matter what our circumstances are. However, we see that a lot of this is done out of spite for men.
I think so.
To do it to spite men, to disrespect men. And a lot of that is coming from a place of pain and suffering.
Well, the reason is because men have placed themselves there.
Correct. Absolutely.
Let's keep it real. To me, that is men's fault. Men have placed themselves in that situation. So to play the devil's advocate, we have men out there who have children, completely forget about their child or children as soon as they meet another woman. They don't take care of their child. They'll do or say anything in court not to have to pay the right amount of child support. Yet they move with another woman who has kids herself, and they raise those kids. I've never seen anything like that. I don't even understand that. Like, how can you leave your children and not take care of your children and move with another woman and then try to become the dad of those children? That I don't even understand that concept. And we may make a lot of men upset, but the truth is the truth. And I have examples and beyond examples with my family, my cousins, my sisters, my friends, women that I know, women that I've dated. It's amazing how many men are raising other men's children and not their own. To the point where I call a biological father a stepdad. And somebody asked me one day, why do you call him the stepdad? And my answer to that was, well, he stepped out. He stepped. Let's keep it real. He decided to move on. So he's not a father. He's not a dad. He lost that title unless he's doing the right things. Now, if it's a man that's doing the right thing, he's picking up his child every other weekend because that's the agreement, is there every other Christmas, every other holiday, make sure that he stays on top of, schoolwork and calls him or her throughout the week, picks them up when he says he's going to pick them up, because I know that a lot of men say, I'll be there at 5 and will not even show up. These are facts. I'm not making this up. Right. And that's one of the reasons why I always made sure that when I said to you guys, I'm coming to pick you up, I always showed up.
Correct. And I've seen it evidenced in my own life experience with you being my father. When my mom and you were separated, you are the one that signed up to pay child support. My mom didn't have to go after you for that. And that is what a man does.
Well, I didn't see it as an obligation.
And it wasn't an option. It
wasn't an option. To me, you're my child. I want to take care of my child. And I knew that other men were going to be involved in your life. That's a given. That was a given. What I didn't want is for these men to have the right to say or feel like they have the right to do certain things due to the fact that they're stepping in. It was very important for me to know and to let them know that I was present, that I'm not an absentee father. That was super important to me. And there was not one Christmas, not one birthday, nothing that you didn't know that I wasn't there. And I remember you used to get super nervous every time I dropped you off, just on the thought that I may not come 2 weeks from that moment till I have that conversation with you. And I was like, Mijo, let me just tell you right now, God willing, and unless God decides to take me, I will always be here and I will always come to pick you up, because you used to be so nervous just on the thought that I may not come and you may not see me again. And I think that that's definitely formed who you are today.
Absolutely, without question.
Because I was always there. And I'm daring to say that maybe there was one time that I never showed up, but that I didn't show up, but I don't think so.
Not that I can remember.
I made sure that no matter what, I was going to be there and on time.
Right. And that nervousness, that insecurity, that uncertainty of future events where I wouldn't see you for a time had nothing to do with you. With all the respect and all the love that I have for my mother, a lot of the times she would tell me things about you, stories, for lack of better words, that would question my trust in your ability to be there. And this plays back into our main subject, which is feminism. Feminism arises originally from the positive concept of female empowerment. However, what we see today a lot of the times is known as radical feminism. And most people are well-intentioned. Most people, like my mom, there are many mothers out there like my mother, have good intentions. But as we've discussed in previous podcasts, the road to hell is often paved with good intentions.
Right.
And many men are being burned by those flames.
There is no doubt about that.
Unfortunately.
Yes.
I've seen it in your case. Your actions have proved throughout the time that I've known you as my father, that you are reliable, that you are the man that you have always said that you are. We all have our failings. We all make our mistakes. But through and through, you have been true to your word. And I will always be thankful for that. That has taught me to be the man that I am, to do the right thing because it is the right thing to do.
Well, I mean, again, we talk about this all the time. Men have to hold themselves accountable. And to me, that's what's missing in this society.
Absolutely.
And to me, that's why women are so radical. That's why, because men have shown a lack of disparity, a lack of respect. Men are demanding respect when they're not earning.
No, and that's where the lack of accountability comes into play. We were listening to one of Jordan Peterson's interviews. Jordan Peterson, by the way, is a professor from the University of Toronto, Canada.
Right.
World renowned now because of his outspoken understanding on feminism, on transgender politics, and the like. And he was discussing the gender pay gap, among other things, in relation to feminism and radical feminism. And what we see here is that fundamental lack of accountability and responsibility when it comes to what a man needs to do to fulfill his roles as a man, to earn the respect and the love and admiration of a woman. And that's why women feel so marginalized. It's because men are not fulfilling their roles, nor are they encouraged to.
That is right. That is right. And I know for a fact that when a woman has a man that plays the role of a man, right, that plays the role and does the thing that he's supposed to do, she will be the woman that she needs to be. She could be a judge. She could be the president of the United States. And I can guarantee you that women will hold their place as women when men do what they're supposed to do. So this radical feminization is due to the fact that men have failed them.
First and foremost.
First and foremost. So I want to keep that very clear. It has nothing to do with the fact that they want to be female or I want to show my power. I want to show you what's going on. Let me show you my strength. No, that's due to the fact that men have failed them for decades. There are so many single moms out there that you cannot count them with 20 hands. That's for sure.
Correct.
Men have failed women throughout time. Men have failed women time and time again. A woman falls in love with a man and he fails her. She has to take means to survive. And part of that is having her masculine traits come out. It's very simple. Women will do what they have to do in order to raise their children. And part of that is having that masculine capacity to be able to raise boys or girls, whichever, or both.
Correct.
So I don't blame, let me make this very clear. We talk about radical feminism, but I don't blame women at all because we have placed ourselves in that situation.
Correct. And this begets its own challenges, its own issues. And, one of those challenges that a woman faces when a woman has kids is that her value is less than that of a woman without children, especially if that woman is younger than she is.
Right.
Her value in the sexual marketplace is less than that. That is a fact. And we have the right to our own opinions, but we do not have the right to our own facts. And that's what's going on. That is a challenge. But the answer is not to play the blame game when it comes to us experiencing those challenges as human beings. We have to understand where we are. We have to understand how to get the right guidance to overcome these challenges and not fight against them. And we live in a society, again, filled with people who are not connected to themselves at their roots. They live in la la land.
Yep.
And we'll continue this in the next episode. This is just an introduction to this discussion on feminism. And we're going to get into how we can clarify a lot of these challenges, a lot of the things that are holding us back. All right, Feliz family. We'll wrap it up for now. And until next time.
Always remember, if you don't live to serve, then you don't deserve to live.